to the final day of Scouting Grounds, where we'll have our third place match starting in just a few minutes, and after that, our finals match. I'm your host, Kaizen, joined by Golden Glue and Emily Rand. How y'all doing?
Good. Thanks for having us. I'm glad to be here.
I'm glad you're here too. All right, so before we dive into the nitty-gritty and the who's who of each team, we wanted to take a look back at some previous Honda Scouting Grounds alums who have gone on to become legends in their own right. I'm talking about Blabber, Spica, and Vulcan.
Yeah, so I think it's important when we look at the Scouting Grounds event and how it's evolved that we have had some North American talent bubble up and really showcase their skills at Scouting Grounds. Blabber, Spica, Vulcan from the same Scouting Grounds class. That was actually like a really good class. Specifically Spica I think is super interesting because even though he didn't end up going to TSM immediately, he was on the TSM team that year, and that's definitely where they started to get to know him from a complete unknown to an up-and-coming jungler.
Yeah, I honestly think it's absolutely ridiculous that you have two MVPs, both of them are junglers from North America, coming from Scouting Grounds. Like, how insane is that? To even have one MVP coming from Scouting Grounds, I feel like you could just see Scouting Grounds as like a success at an event if the point was to grow domestic talent. And we have two players who are both MVPs. That's wild to me. Crazy. Yeah. And different years too, right? Like, it's just so crazy.
Yeah, and as you can see on screen, Blabber is a two-time MVP. So what I want to know, and we'll find out later today, is do we have an MVP in the making playing today? But in the meantime, there have been a lot of great performances by a lot of incredible players this past week. But seeing as we don't have all the time in the world to discuss each and every one of those players, we've compiled a short list of stand-up performances and players to watch out for in the upcoming series. So, first up, a name many of you know well, who has been terrorizing the top lane all week. Let's talk about Gamsu.
Yeah, so Gamsu came in here, and I think the funny thing about Gamsu is a lot of people have different expectations of him, coming from him being an old pro player way back in the day on Dignitas, then going off to be, a tank player, a world-class Overwatch player, and then coming back now and trying to pick up the old reins and play League of Legends again. And people have like expectations that he can only play tanks or something, but he's coming in here and playing Jace and popping kids, right? I worked with Gamsu last year, or actually this year, but last split. And it's been really nice to see him perform so well here. And obviously we won Proving Grounds together. And to see his growth has been really nice for me.
Yeah.
And I think the thing with Gamsu that you have to point out is that, as you said, like he comes in. I actually was one of those people who's like, I don't really know what to expect from him. I followed him in Overwatch. I followed him previously in LoL. I think the big thing with him is how smart he is and how you can see him making adjustments from game to game, which has really impressed me.
Definitely, one of the things is people generally have different kinds of expectations for older players, but he is so good about being applying basically anything you tell him about the game, just because he's has so much experience being a competitor. If I tell him something about his gameplay is going poorly, and he can just change it straight into the next game. He augments and fixes himself so incredibly well.
That's awesome.
Beautiful, and that's a huge presence to have on a team. Next up, we're going to talk about a mid laner that you should absolutely keep your eyes on now and in the future. It's Bradley.
Yeah, so Bradley, I actually first heard of him when I was doing collegiate, but he's been tearing through Proving Grounds as well. I think his main strengths, we've seen him play Vex a lot. He's actually a lot more flexible than I think people give him credit for, but additionally, the thing that's impressed me in addition to just his laning and stuff is he's always willing to pick up these new champions, right? So like previously in the year, it was Gwen. He was just this phenomenal Gwen player before I saw a lot of people taking a chance and playing her, even though she was kind of broken. And then now here we see him bringing out the Vex and since subsequently earning bans on it.
Yeah, I absolutely love watching him pick up. It definitely, he likes to play these high mechanical, high skill cap champions. So when a new champion comes out, it's just like, I can definitely tell he's like, all right, I want whatever challenge this is going to be, I just want to shit on kids with this new champion. And he definitely has done a really good job with Vex. He's making the champion look so busted this week.
Do you think he should be drawing bans on the champion?
I would expect to see Vex banned. Unfortunately, we probably won't see it today, but who knows? Who knows,
Cool. So this week, we've also been witness to some really standout performances, and we wanted to share some of those with all of you. So let's check out what Firefire has been up to this tournament, because he's been really impressing.
Yeah, so Firefire is one of those players that I feel like people already have a set opinion on him, right? And I think maybe they should rethink that opinion if it's for, because Firefire's not only been playing really well, but listening to him in comms, like, I actually followed him way back at his first Scouting Grounds event, and he's grown so much as both a player and a person. It's been really cool not only to see what he's been able to do on the Rift, but also some in-game leadership that we've heard from him in communication with his team.
Yeah, I've watched Fire play for quite a while now. I've obviously played against him before when I was playing, and my impression of him has really changed in the last year. From him having the self-awareness to not play in the last split and take some time for himself and try to figure out ways that he can improve himself without the team structure, and to see him basically manifesting and being very thoughtful about how he wants to improve and what he needs to improve on. So I'm definitely pretty high on this guy after seeing him pop off in the first Proving Grounds and win that whole thing, and also interviewing him. Very impressive player.
Cool. Well, you got me excited just hearing about that. So now that we're sufficiently amped up for this series, let's meet our teams. Playing later today in the 2021 Honda Scouting Ground Finals, Team Cloud and Team Mountain. So what I want to know from you, Golden Glue and Emily, is who stands out for you on Team Cloud?
We already brought up Fire. I also think Wixie is actually quite good, one of the better ADCs we've seen thus far at Scouting Grounds from what I've been able to watch.
Yeah, I think Dapshin's also a name to look at. He played with Arrow for during this year, so he definitely got a lot of experience playing with him. And then Team Mountain, which is the team I helped this week during
No
Scouting
bias.
Grounds, so no bias here whatsoever, but definitely looking good. The team's looking good.
I want to note Winston, too, because I think he's one of the better junglers here as well.
Cool. So we basically just noted 3/5 of the team.
Yeah, there you go.
No bias whatsoever.
Team Mountain, OP, no bias, Golden Glue on desk.
Zero bias.
Perfect.
Just the best team.
But starting off the day, we do have Team Infernal and Team Ocean going for this third place match. On Team Infernal, we have PCL, Chad, Strumpus, Kyle, and Winter. Who stands out here?
Chad, definitely.
Yeah, I think Chad is definitely probably the best jungle here. I think he's been performing really well. Obviously, also worked with this guy on 100 Thieves, and I loved how much he's changed, and he's gained a lot of confidence in the last couple months after winning Scouting Proving Grounds. So excited to watch him play.
Yeah, I would also highlight Chad because I think it's definitely between him and Winston as the top two junglers that I've seen thus far over the past week. And I would actually put Chad slightly above Winston. It's kind of a toss-up. They have different strengths and weaknesses. But on his team, he's definitely been kind of the key person, the key driver behind a lot of their wins. And then for Team Ocean, I'd love to call out Concept in the top lane. I think he is someone that people maybe might not be as familiar with because we haven't seen the same kind of body of work from the Proving Ground circuit from him that from some of these other players that we've talked about. But I think he's quite good, and he's been like, outside of Kamsu's performance, which did surprise me, like I said, Concept has been the top laner that I've watched the most, and I think he has the potential to be quite good.
Got it. So looking at this lineup, it seems clear for Infernal that solo lanes are the carries. If you look at Team Ocean, where do you expect the pop-off performances to come from, Golden Glue?
That's honestly tough to say. I also think Team Ocean's bot lane is pretty good. Breezy played for 100 next before, and Good Boy's had some pretty good performances, especially on Ezreal. So I could definitely see the bot lane popping off.
Cool. All right, well, Team Infernal versus Team Ocean. This is going to be for third place. What fans might not know is these teams actually played yesterday.
Yep.
Right,
Yeah.
so they actually played the best of three. So this is a rematch coming in hot, not even 24 hours later. So hopefully there's been some good scouting information being able to produce. Golden Glue, I'm curious from your perspective, as a coach, when you have an event like this where you're bringing in 5 players who don't have a ton of experience together, how do you evaluate the performance of an individual?
Yeah, so I think one of the easiest ways to evaluate performance is to strictly look at lane phase. I think the lane phase is one of the things that doesn't really get ruined by some other part of the map being really strong and influencing your game in the team fights, right? So you can really see skill expression in lane phase. So that's definitely something to focus on and to watch in this tournament for the whole day, is to see, and I also expect these guys to all be playing pretty aggressive, trying to get huge leads, because they also know that. Yeah. They also know that they're being evaluated on their lane phase, so everyone's trying to ego on each other. So excited to watch the early games for sure.
Cool.
And listening to these two, so I flopped back and forth when I was watching their series yesterday. And it was really interesting to listen to a lot of their communication. And then also, I know this is going to sound really stupid, but as someone who was a part of the first Scouting Grounds event and kind of has followed it through the years, the level at which like the coaches are talking to these players is completely different from when it first started. Like I'm hearing so many of these amateur players just talk about, it sounds like super simple to us, right? But like, oh, you know, this cannon minion's coming in here, so I have the wave set perfectly. He's not going to be able to do like anything. We can go in here. Like the level of understanding of the game from an individual level, like when you're looking at to scout players, even listening to their comms has been like such a massive upgrade even from like 2 years ago. It's nuts.
I will say on that note, something that's been really fun to watch this whole week and playing in the Scouting Grounds is that a lot of the other players are just so interested in like coaching and teaching the other players, right? I even had Kinvi and Tenacity, they came in and like spoke a little bit. I saw Revenge around at Scouting Grounds, and even like Winston to the newer players, like they're just going around and they're like coaching each other, and they're all like so passionate about improving. And it's definitely contagious, right? When people are so passionate about that, it's really nice to watch.
Yeah.
And I definitely think that this like new class, these like younger NA talent, they're pretty all connected, and they're all, you know, talking to each other, joking around with each other, and it's a good atmosphere for sure.
Yeah, I love to see that camaraderie. One of the things that I noticed was we asked the players what was some of the most impactful moments in your League of Legends career, and who do you look up to? And like I felt like 50% of them mentioned Core JJ.
Yeah.
And I saw him watching some of the matches as well. So it feels like there's a sort of an older guard that wants to bring up these new players. I'm curious, is that something that you felt has always existed, Golden Glue, or is that sort of a newer development?
I feel like Core JJ is something different for sure, something special. I can't really think of any players when I was coming up as a pro player. I can't think of anyone that stands out as like, this guy is trying to grow the talent, you know? That it was not really like that. And I think Core JJ, it's really nice when you see the players in the LCS who are the top performers, but they're also kind of like standing up, trying to improve things for everyone. They're just trying to improve, just not make things only better for themselves, right? It's great to see it for someone like Core JJ.
Cool. Well, these players are standing on the shoulders of giants, and let's see how it turns out for them. Let's hand it over to Mad Magical and Raz as we get into Game 1.
Thank you, Kaizen. Welcome in to the casting desk. I'm here with the one and only Raz. I am so excited to be here for Scouting Grounds. There's been a lot of awesome gameplay that's already taken place all throughout the week between these teams, and here we are. It's the final day. We start off with a third-place match.
Yeah, I wish the fans got to see a little bit more, right? Because there was a lot of great games that were happening throughout the week. We got to be able to watch them, and also just a lot of great constructive feedback and criticism, of course, because after every scrim, every session that the teams had, including the official games themselves, I felt like the teams got better.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what this best of 3 has to hold for us.
As am I. And we got to be flies on the walls for a lot of that.
Yes.
During the scrims, during the games, listening and to the comms and how these players and the coaches were kind of developing them. Because you only got a week really to work with brand new players and teammates. Some of them have played with one another. Bradley, Winston being some of them. PCL and Winter, who we have here on Team Infernal. But not everyone has had such a luxury going into this. They've had to really work quickly to learn everyone else's styles.
Exactly. And the funniest thing about this one, this is probably going to be the best quality, I would say, best understood game between both teams because, like the desk said, they faced off against each other just yesterday.
Yep.
So the rematch is right there. Probably the best indication is the Evelyn ban that, you know, Silly Shots has actually played pretty consistently throughout the week.
I feel like Silly Shots has unfortunately gotten target banned a lot throughout this entire week. His Evelyn, Kindred, Nidalee is another one. He's played, I think, about 8 different champions because there's been so much focus onto his champion pool, trying to make him as uncomfortable as humanly possible.
Ooh, and that's going to be the Camille lock-in for Piecake Lord. PACL has just been incredible on the Camille. We've got to see some of the games, of course, like throughout the week, and he's just been getting solo kills on that pick. So like that's a pick that he's feeling incredibly confident on. So it makes a lot of sense that would pick that one up for him. That being said, well, I want to see what the response here from Concept is going to be, and that's going to be a Nidalee lock-in from Team Ocean. Yeah,
makes sense. Like I said, Silly Shots has been banned out so heavily during this all. So getting him that comfortable pick into the jungle, making it so he's going to have the easiest time humanly possible is understandable. But I also kind of like it because it still leaves a lot up for the imagination that Infernal have to now infer of what's going to go on in Team Ocean's hands because they have some deep champion pools. So you look at Concept topside, he plays pretty much whatever the team needs him to play. He'll play to facilitate everyone else.
Yeah, he's been, I would say, one of the best performing top laners in the event so far, from what we've seen. Now him getting the opportunity to counter pick into the Camille, and another thing, of course, is just being able to, as you said, can play a lot of styles. His champion pool is quite large, so if they have a good opportunity to get Good Boy and Breezy the best picks possible, then he can play weak side. But right now, I think he has a matchup that can demand attention.
But I'm looking over towards Team Infernal. Not only did they get PCL's Camille, one of his best champions that he plays, but now they've got Chad onto Lee Sin, and the thing that I'm keeping my eyes out is that Lulu that they've just locked in that has been dominating more so than we've seen even Yuumi doing beforehand.
Yeah, and they're holding the AD carry pick until the 4-5, which is going to give Team Ocean an opportunity to ban, and of course pick away, because being on red side, they get the first hit on AD. So with Lulu being picked up, immediately the AD carries that I'm thinking about is Jinx, is Lucian, Aphelios is probably the best one that you can get. So it's a good support takeaway. I want to see what the option is going to be here from Team Ocean.
But the fact that both sides have picked up their supports makes me think that we're just going to see 4 AD carry bans right here. Aphelios, Jinx, Ezreal might even get banned away just to try to really whittle down that pool.
Yeah, that's why I'm interested to see what the first pick is going to be from Team Ocean here on red side. Just taking a look at what the comp is demanding here. The pick on Thresh means that it can go for a pick composition. They won't have access to the Syndra because, of course, banned first phase by Infernal. The Vex is available.
It is.
And so Syndra has been the best matchup into the Vex. Interested to see if that's going to be where APA does go for.
Yeah, I'd be curious for that as well. APA has a very unique champion pool, and I love it. The Aurelion Sol, Ziggs, those are champions that he loves to play that not many players know how to play against well.
Yeah, and so he's going for the LeBlanc ban just because it is just a strong blind pick, and because of the champion pool that you're referencing, he's on 5 pick. I'm imagining he's going to get counter pick, so that's where the imagination can run wild. If you have an Italy, you can go further into a poke composition, maybe go for the Ziggs, but let's just see what the full comp of Team Infernal has to show for us.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if it's going to be the AD carry ban here, pick for Ocean here after already having 2 AD carry bans on the other side and holding on to APA's pick, making sure that they're going to get that counter. Ezreal is something I had mentioned before that could have been an option for them, and in fact might seem like it's going to be the case.
Yeah, and so the Jinx ban from Team Infernal, of course, I mentioned that that's a pick that Team Infernal would want, but it's also just a great combination with the Thresh pick here. So I think Lucian is probably, Lucian is probably the best pick here.
Agreed.
With Aphelios and Jinx being banned. Makes it so the bot lane is pretty, I would say you can play towards it pretty heavily. I like the hover. And this is him hovering it too, so we got 5 seconds on the board. Let's see if we got a Draven pick here for Kyle.
I'm gonna hold on. Instead
even
of
better!
Vayne.
Even better! I'm here for a Vayne pick.
Yeah, I would. You know, the Draven pick, I'm like, okay, we've seen it a couple times during the scouting grounds this time around. Not from Kyle, but from a couple other players that have played it already. But Vayne, we haven't had played just yet, and I'm excited to see that.
It's great. And of course, there's not really going to be a punish here in the bot lane because they already see the full Thresh in Ezreal. Let's just see a Lux pick here for Strumpist. So overall, from a team fight perspective, pretty strong from Team Infernal, but as a blind pick for Infernal, I think APA should have a few options. I'm trying to think about some of the best here so far.
That's kind of what I'm at right now, too. Trying to go through my notes, see what would be the best to pick into Lux. Vex, you already had mentioned, is open, but I don't know how well that does into Lux.
Yeah, I mean, any real assassin options, and it's going to be APA's Aurelion Sol. He's well known for the A Sol. I just thought that he would you would move away from it, but that's the pocket pick that he has here.
It is. I mean, I was wondering, what do you pick into Lux? Something that's going to wave clear consistently, that's hard to get near because all she's going to do is toss out her light and be like, all right, cool, I'm going elsewhere. I can use my global, semi-global ult to get anywhere. Well, Aurelion Sol, he's just as good as pushing those waves.
Yeah, so it seems like Team Ocean, their focus and their composition is going to be play towards the top side, right? Play for jungle advantage first, but then play towards concept. I think would net them a lot of advantages here. Meanwhile, for Team Infernal, they're likely going to, Chad is probably going to be pathing towards Kyle. I think that would be the best bet, a great front-to-back team composition. I just want to see what the Aurelion Sol has to offer. I have not seen this pick in a very long time. Of course, you casting the LPL, I would say the best person for that pick used to be on Team WE a long time ago. It was a while back.
It was a
Teacher
while
Ma.
back. Yeah, Teacher Ma, when Teacher Ma was playing a bunch. That's usually when we saw, and then got replaced by Mole for a bit.
There it is. But like, that's one of those things. If you just don't have necessarily the matchup knowledge, that's what I'm interested in here, is like, what can you do with this pick? So let's get straight into it. We're already into the first game of the day.
Yeah, look at that. Loaded up. We're starting off Scouting Grounds with an Aurelion Sol pick here in our third place matchup between Team Infernal and Team Ocean. Pride on the line here with everyone going for the typical line of scrimmage. But you know what's interesting? I kind of want to just bring this up. You were talking about how the drafts were for both Team Infernal and Ocean. Well, the desk was talking about how each team tend to play more Infernal for their solo lanes, while we look at Ocean tending to play towards the bot lane. This is not the case with these drafts now this time.
Yeah, and maybe they can. If you look towards the Thresh pick, you have good pick potential in the bot side of the map. So for me, I would say for APA, his primary goal is to play for Nidalee, so she could get the early advantage. But then past that, if there is a good lane state in bot lane, why not, right? Especially with the Thresh being able to find opportunities on Lulu. So we'll see what we have here, if there is going to be an early level 1. Seems like that's going to be the play here for Team Ocean.
A little bit of a late invade potential. Instead, just plopping down the board, since Aurelion Sol does get spotted out in those brushes, you know. Most people forget about that too. You can see stars regardless of brushes or not.
Yeah. So here we go. This is going to be fun to watch, just to see what APA is going for. Predator, so the goal is pretty clear. Work with silly shots to see if you can find an angle in either side lane. And that's going to be a pretty tough call for Infernal. At least Strumpus does have teleport, so if there is a dive happening on either side of the lane, that he can still respond. But nice trade here coming in from Concept.
Yeah, good trade. But no, I kind of want to go back to this Aurelion Sol, because it reminds me back in the days of Huhi when he was in mid lane, when he played the Aurelion Sol and went for that level 3 gank bot lane. That's what I'm kind of wondering if we're going to see here, but instead Kyle's getting a lot of good trade damage on to Good Boy in this bot lane. Ezreal and Thresh, they might be good at picking one champion at a time, but unfortunately, this Vayne Lulu combo is able to get the better end of it at the beginning.
Yeah, just a very volatile bot lane here. At first, take a step back, you would say a volatile bot lane would favor Team Ocean, but that's going to be silly shots actually pathing towards the top side, so he's not going to really have an opportunity to work with the early push from APA and find an angle here. But that just means that Concept, as you can see, is trying to play the matchup to its limit. So if there is an opportunity for a dive, he can let his jungler and mid laner know.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. There was a game where PCL, I think, was playing the Camille into Jax, and unfortunately did not respect the Jax initially earlier this week, and did get solo killed at one point. Here you can tell the respect, and even calling out Chad.
Take a look at this, of course. Just playing outside of the range of the ward, but a hook coming into the bot lane.
That's what we want to see. Getting the flash away from Winter with Ignite, taken away. One more slap of the flash, and there it is. First blood for Breezy while Concept top lane. There's Chad up. 2 kills went over to the bot lane, but it's traded for the top laner.
There we go, but that's going to be first blood for bot lane, but it's going to be in the hands of the Thresh. Already an insanely scrappy game.
Oh, wow. And look at that damage in from Silly Shots. The dodge away, but burning to red buff, and the auto attack picks up another kill. It is 3 kills early for Ocean.
I thought the red buff burn from Silly Shots was already going to get the kill, but maybe Chad was close enough to get his shield buff.
Maybe.
So,
didn't want to risk it either.
Exactly. Gets the flash off of Chad too, so while Chad was able to get a successful gank up top lane, great response from Silly Shots.
I love this. This is a lot of aggressive plays coming in from Team Ocean immediately. I was expecting it to be Team Infernal doing that. Chad has been someone we've watched throughout this weekend, hell, throughout Proving Grounds, be one of the most aggressive junglers, only Winston really being someone who can match his aggression.
Take a look at this. Ships passing through the night, not going to have an idea that Chad's on this, but I think he gets eyes. Barely on Silly Shots. Not sure if we're just playing with vision there, but they're going to see each other soon enough anyways.
I don't think Chad wants to fight that regardless, because the level lead Silly Shots has. I know we already saw what happened. One spear lands onto Chad and he is dead. He cannot fight back.
And Breezy, of course, roaming towards the mid lane at the very same time. So they do have the numbers advantage topside. A good play overall from Team Ocean, so he does get a camp up. Lee Sin is going to respond by going straight for topside Krugs, but overall, I would say this is a pretty good advantage for Silly Shots.
I think this is just a good advantage for Ocean all across the board. Even though Concept died to the gank coming in from Chad, they got the kill back for Silly Shots, and the bot lane play worked out so immaculately.
Yeah, so it was a 2-level advantage for Silly Shots, just a 1-level advantage now. Aurelion Sol roaming up topside. Let's see if a play works out.
Counter-strike, gonna get the stun onto PCL. He has very little mana with the Predator. Pop the flash away, burning to Ignite. Here's Chad on the other side. It's gonna be the hook shot back in, but the kill still goes over. 1 for 1 at the moment. APA doesn't want to fight with Chad just yet. He'll take the 1 kill.
That was a good response from PCL to just play with the time there, because overall, Team Ocean knew that Lee Sin was topside. They just thought they can get the kill fast enough so they can get in and get out, but at least they're able to do that. And Strumpus being able to deny waves here, so APA able to get the kill topside, but still getting punished a little bit off waves. But overall, yeah, you're right. Great play in the early game so far from Team Ocean.
Getting a kill on APA as well, even though, like you said, Strumpus was able to crash that wave into the turret. No plates were taken.
Yeah.
You didn't really lose out on too much. APA is going to roam back into mid lane and even have a level advantage over Strumpus.
Ooh, nice hook.
Breezy takes it too. Breezy has been landing these hooks pretty well onto Winter, noting that that is going to be the easy target. Take out the healer and you take out all the sustain that Kyle will have.
No wards in the journey here for Silly Shots up topside, so. But
Tragic.
PCL still playing relatively safely here. See if there's any action happening through mid lane.
Strumpus is going to be in a little bit of danger, but Chad is on the other side. He is going to complete that recall on Breezy, even with Good Boy right in tow being called up to try to contest that dragon.
Still a 2-level advantage there for Silly Shots. He's going to be on the bot side of the map, and another play, a huge stacking wave that PCL is just going to have to miss out on.
Yeah. And look at this. You have level leads just across the board for Team Ocean. Almost every single lane, only mid lane is even in that experience. But still, you'd have to give APA the little bit of advantage because now Concept draws up Strumpus, forces PCL not to port back, even using the ultimate immediately with little mana. Counter-Strike comes out of Concept, he jumps back in. 1v2, he's fighting against the world, but it's going to be the single strike. Will take one more, but still Concept's alive. And the smite back in, landing the Sonic Wave. He can follow that up, but they want to give the kill to Strumpus.
Yeah, good call giving the kill over to Strumpus because he is going to lose out a little bit in the mid lane. But great play overall, really strong reaction. But what they're losing out on the map is quite large. Red buff gone, Infernal Dragon taken from Team Ocean, and it might put in Winter and Kyle in a position for a dive.
But look at this. Silly Shots wants this so bad with the port, with the spear, with the hook on the other side. They've got so much damage that Winter cannot survive.
Yeah, even APA was making the journey down bot lane too.
Those spears, man.
What a damn good early game from Silly Shots in the team. He has had a huge lead over Chad, and then if they're making, Infernal that is, making a play topside, they know they have the window to go for a bot lane dive.
And Raz,
turns great.
Look at this. All 3 kills Infernal have are on to Concept.
Yes.
They've done everything possible to try to stop Jax, and they've forfeited the rest of the map to do so.
Now you're in a position, 7 minutes, 50 seconds. Focus is going to be on the Rift Herald. APA understands this, is going to get vision on the top side, and Thresh is already moving. So Infernal, while they're in the position at first, they are behind. I don't think they want to take the fight here. No TP from Strumpus, and he's in the bottom side of the map, so see what the response is going to be from Team Ocean.
Ocean look like they're just going to give up the Rift Herald. They've already gotten the dragon. They've already got the dragon themselves with APA on them. And so they're perfectly content. Look at the items they're starting to build up. You've got Sork Boots doubled up for Silly Shots into APA, so they're going to be able to really burn through everyone squishy on the side of Team Infernal while waiting to see if they can scale up that Jax, get this Ezreal into a better position to actually look for those full-on fights.
Yeah, so see where that Rift Herald is going to be placed here.
Where would you place? That's going to be actually the question here. Do you continue to harass Concept top lane, or do you try to finally help out another lane?
It's going to have to be bot lane for me. Chad is pathing towards the lane, and also the win condition for Infernal. While, yes, getting Camille the consistent advantage is great, you do need to get Kyle back into the game.
Yeah.
So I think that would be the best place to put it. The only problem would be that APA would have the option to deny the play. As you can already see, the control wards are there from the bottom side of the map, and Silly Shots is already on the move.
And they're looking to invade Chad's jungle as well. They don't just want to punish bot lane. They want to see if they can kill Chad, kill Strumpus, then look to the bot lane. They got the dash away from Chad, but here comes Breezy. The hook connects, pulls him back in, looks for the flay away too. But the whole time, Kyle is fighting against Good Boy. Kyle is getting the better end of the trade. The flash away coming in from Good Boy to be able to survive. He'll still be alive. Winter's on the other side, but not going to be able to get anywhere near Good Boy. Still going to be strong, and everyone escapes.
Yeah, that was really close. Good Boy. Oh!
Ooh, they heal. Barely kept Good Boy alive.
My God, he had to use both sums in that one. Taking a look at the top side. Yeah, this PCL trying to get his wave in. That's a lot of action happening in the bot side of the map, and Silly Shots is just trying to get any advantage that he can right now.
Keeping it so that APA can crash yet another wave into the turret.
So the overall goal from Chad was to put Rift Herald bot side. He's going to be able to do that. APA and Silly Shots are on the move.
Oh, he hasn't used it yet.
Yeah, I think the intent was to do it, but then of course Ocean is already going to be there to defend the play.
It's also the hard thing when you have Aurelion Sol who could be everywhere and anywhere possible. It takes him just a couple seconds to path away, use his E to dash over all these walls and get right into a different lane.
Yeah, so I think it's great from Team Ocean that they're recognizing that they don't need to make a play themselves at this point in time. While they do have the goal lead, it's just smart from them to recognize that if they try and go for a topside play, yeah, you're going to lose out more because of Rift Herald. So just constantly stuffing the play whenever they can. As long as they have vision of Chad, then it's going to do a lot of work. Concept is half HP, Lee Sin is top lane, so they're going to put the money in PCL's pockets.
Alright, so they eventually make the play to use a top lane and continue to punish Concept as much as humanly possible. I mean, it's better than getting nothing, right? You're at least getting some gold into PCL, who's going to be a threat when it comes to these team fights, especially if you're able to dive into the backline on someone like Silly Shots, like Good Boy. But first, you gotta escape from all this. You gotta spend the gold you have just gained, because the TP was used by Concept to get back into the top lane and scare away Infernal.
All right, there we go. And that's going to be flashed off of Winter on that one. Just waiting on APA's move time to be able to see if they can push Infernal out of the top side of the map. But that is going to be a dragon coming up. Should be second dragon there for Team Ocean. Infernal already making a play topside. They're going to be a little slower on the map. So wonder if they want to contest this next Drake.
I don't think you do. I think you just back out of this one. You forfeit it and try to scale up. You still haven't gotten too many mythics on your side. You're working towards PCL, who you gave a lot of gold with the Rift Herald play top lane, but yet still hasn't gotten that mythic.
Well, PCL's playing through mid, so that's the goal, is that they're going to try and fight through the vision that Ocean, Team Ocean has
Concept
here.
used TP top lane, of course. Concept still on the top side. They see him, so they actually have the advantage.
There we go. So that should be a dragon here. Silly Shots is still going to be in the area, maybe just looking for a steal.
Well, he has stolen a couple of objectives away during this week. Sure, it was on Evelyn when he stole away the Baron, but here on Italy he could have. He doesn't, instead waiting it out. It's going to be the flash in. It could not get close enough. Breezy tried to be a hero, but instead it's going to be the kick onto APA coming in from Chad. The flash away to survive. Sphere looking for Chad, but not going to connect.
That was pretty unfortunate for Breezy there. The idea was there, but just not close enough.
I can respect it. You know, at least you're trying. You're trying to make sure that he's not going to TP top lane, so that way Concept possibly could have gotten a lot more place, but just shy, just a couple pixels off as Silly steals away the red buff. Yes, steals it away and takes the lantern out. No depth sentence connecting this time out of Breezy, but it's the jump in. Winter, he's only level 5, so of course he dies to Silly Shots, and the blast cone away will keep Kyle alive, but unfortunately Winter was not so lucky.
Yeah, would have died there if it wasn't for blast cone being in the area. Really close. I guess he does have flash, but all in all, no, Infernal is chipping at the goal lead just a little bit. The Rift Herald did kind of help out, and PCL now back topside.
But unfortunately for me, I'm just looking at the CS leads right now.
Yeah.
And you made that play top lane to help out PCL, but he's still behind 20 CS. You look mid lane, sure, he got an advantage for Strumpus, but these gold leads are really starting to accumulate on the proper carries. Good Boy, too. Look at that massive lead.
Yeah, and I would look at Concept as well, who's fairly even with PCL. A lot of that came in the fact that he did stay topside while PCL committed for the Dragon. So while they got the team objective, now a lot of the advantage that was given to him fairly lost. I mean, he got a lot of the assists off the early plays, but great call from Team Ocean to just get Concept back in.
Make sure this Jax is going to be a threat here when we get towards the split push, when you can set up side lanes, have Jax on the side lane against Camille. I mean, both of them, they might be strong at that aspect, but unfortunately, Jax is a little bit stronger.
Burns the flash there, so didn't know that Breezy was in the bush.
No, but at least it's going to still be Kyle alive. He'll take that. He'll take the fact that he's not dead just yet, can still clear out the minion waves bot lane, and he himself, a Vayne, can scale up too.
See what? It's just going to be a Cloud Soul that's possible, that's on the map, so that does shift the goal here for both teams now a little bit. To try and play for camps a little bit more aggressively. I know Chad was losing out really early on, still losing out in both experience and gold to the Nidalee. Makes it a little easier now for Ocean to say, okay, well, play for Raptors a little bit more frequently. Time the red buff. They were going for the last red buff, did end up getting it. So more things like that can really help out Team Ocean.
But the thing is, I actually even look at this Cloud Soul as being kind of good for Ocean. You got an Aurelion Soul, you got Jax to move around the map, you're even looking for these picks out of Breezy.
True.
So it is something that they can still keep in mind. They don't have to put too much, though, into getting that advantage.
That's true. A lot of it's a clear win condition here for Team Ocean to play around Thresh hooks. So like, if you can play off a pick like that or off of Aurelion Soul, I agree. Meanwhile, for Team Infernal, I think if you want to starter fight more aggressively, it's going to be Lee Sin and Camille that gets the job done.
Who do you focus on, though? Do you think it's going to be APA, or do you think Silly Shots and Good Boy are more the targets here?
I would say APA. A lot of it is dependent on who doesn't have flash. So right now, if a play were to happen, they would already time that APA just lost his flash off the previous play to try and get him. That's another Rift Herald being picked up from Team Infernal.
I wonder if they just pop it immediately top lane like they did previously, especially with Concept now in the ultimatum, using the Counter-Strike flash away, but it's going to be the hook shot in underneath the turret with the ult too to snipe down Concept.
That was great CC stacking there. Even using the Lulu ultimate to set up for the Lux ulti immediately afterwards. But here comes Team Ocean.
This looks a little dicey for them. They're maybe overextending. They were able to take down the turret, but even though Ocean had a good time to actually fight, they didn't go for it.
Yeah, didn't want to overcommit with the Rift Herald being placed here. It is dead now. Good boy being able to fend that one off, but
is he though?
A little bit
is
too
he
hard.
really fighting it back? Yes, he used the no, not even the heal. It was the heal coming in from Breezy, but that's going to be the kill. The snipe in from Silly Shots. Another spear landing. Silly Shots. He's absolutely absurd on this Nidalee.
Man is just making a highlight reel in the first game of the day. Here comes that huge comment from APA.
Slow 2 from the Roar so that Silly Shots can look for his 5th kill, but the snipe on the other side takes down Good Boy with them.
Yeah, but if we take a step back, Dragon's coming up in 30 seconds. Both bot laners down from Team Infernal. So Winter and Kyle being down and out makes it easier for Team Ocean to now set up vision around this Dragon.
They can crash this in. There's no ult for Strumpet to steal away the Dragon potential. It might be up just in the nick of time, but I doubt that that's actually going to be the case.
Yeah, this has been a great start. 3K goal lead here for Team Ocean 17 minutes into the game.
Not bad.
Take a look at this replay, of course. This was Good Boy, as we said, fending this one off. Making it so they didn't have a play. He was playing really aggressively.
He was.
And a lot of that was just recognizing Silly Shots and Breezy was just behind him. Exhaust coming in a little late, but honestly, even with the exhaust, I think the kill is going through.
Yeah, you can see the damage Silly Shots has at this point with that rocket belt too. Just can burst through everyone, and then Winter, he's only level 7. Still at quite a disadvantage. I like that right there. Strumpet's finding Good Boy on the other side, so at least it's still a 1 for 2.
Yeah, had the vision in the line bush, just catching him out, so well done. Instant wave clear on that one, but just during the replay, that is the second Dragon going into the pockets of Team Ocean. So it's working out quite well for them. Oh, okay, what's up?
Using that Counter-Strike, Polymorph interrupted with the Wild Growth, but here's a spear on the other side. Does not connect, so they have to sacrifice Concept so that they can all otherwise survive.
They did not expect him to be chilling in that bush. APA trying to play around, see if he can get the kill onto Kyle.
Kyle realized that too. Uses that Impale to knock him back, saying, all right, you're going to actually kill me if we fight this fully.
Yeah, you saw it in the replay. You also saw it in just that one as well, that Rylai's was the first item there for APA. I think he goes towards that pretty consistently for the Aurelion Sol. Just a lot of, utility. And it really does help out in fights to set up for the Thresh, so let's see if we can get the kill onto Kyle.
Flash in play. The flash failed from Kyle, so they can pull him right back into the box in a dominating Silly Shots.
All right. It's a straight up disaster mode for Infernal's bot lane. 0 and 4 for both Winter and Kyle. They've been the ones that have been targeted pretty consistently, and it's been rough.
I mean, both teams pretty much focus on some lane. You see Infernal focus on those solo lanes. They focus on the top lane on the Concept, but unfortunately that meant sacrificing everything bot lane.
And that's why I think the main difference is being able to defend the play that the enemy team's going for, because Concept has been defended quite well. The last one, he died pretty quickly. They tried. The intent was there.
He survived a lot longer than you'd expect.
Yes, and then there was 2 specific Dragons where Concept was just able to farm. So even though he's been targeted and he's 0 and 5, he's up in CS on PCL. That has been the one been moving towards the objectives that Ocean's been having on almost autonomy on. So I think Ocean has done a great job in using APA's move to get Concept in the game.
But I'm kind of looking now and seeing what ways Infernal might be able to get back into this game. And they actually are starting to set up a pretty decent ward line. They've been able to slowly push back a bit of vision inside the jungle of Silly Shots. Even though they haven't cracked that tier 1 mid to really help that out, at least they've gotten some sort of advantage over Ocean.
I like what Chad did there, just holding the line, recognizing that they had more numbers there. Even though Ocean was trying to push for it, Good Boy was still back at base. In fact, now Silly Shots was as well. So just making it harder for Team Ocean to get the vision there. Gotta commit the members if you want to be able to take it.
And I want to see if Oceans are going to be able to push that back themselves.
There it is.
When you see that now they're back on the Rift, here they are. They've got control wards in their inventories. They've got sweepers as well. They've even got a Zonia's onto Silly Shots. So if they thought they can get the pick onto Silly Shots, that ain't happening.
But now that's full vision control in favor of Team Ocean for third Dragon. With 1 minute and 50 seconds left, Infernal has to either try to play through mid and kind of rest that away from Team Ocean, or play on the opposite side of the map.
Unfortunately for Infernal, they're still getting pushed back, waiting it out, seeing if they can find that advantage, find that fight. They've got pretty decent wave clear in their side lanes, in Strumpus as well, to mitigate any sort of advantage that Ocean might set up normally with APA.
Good opportunity to take up stock of just, if there is a fight to happen, who's going to be the targets. Kyle, no flash from the last play. He's going to be the one that's clearly targeted from Team Ocean if a team fight were to break out. On the side of Team Ocean, I mean, I would say Breezy. He's the one that's going to be initiating the play. Doesn't have some as well with flash, so like those would be the two members that I think would be easy ones to pick out. But the silent killer so far this game has been Strumpus. He's been finding picks in some losing plays, and now he's 3-0. He's been keeping up in CS ahead of APA. He's been moving around. So if there's going to be like a shock and off fight, it's going to be Lux Ultimate coming in from him.
Which is almost why I would expect Ocean instead try to see if they can get Strumpus. Shut that down. Make sure there's no snipes from the other side from this Lux. Because, I mean, yeah, you want to stop Vayne from going off too, but Strumpus is going to deal a lot of damage in these fights if you're not careful.
Now take a look at this, 30 seconds left, and it's Infernal!
Oh, and it's Good Boy that they find the flash away with the dash, looking for the Lantern. He takes it back, the ultimatum keeps him in the fight, though. That's a lot of damage from PCL to finally take down Good Boy, and it's going to be the jump in coming in from Concept. But PCL still alive with a hook shot over the wall. They've got the 1 kill, but can the Bandits make it out alive? They've got to get PCL out if they want to fully have that advantage.
Yeah, they got to reset, go straight back mid, and they have a member up now on Team Ocean. That's a huge pickup there for Infernal. Chad's looking for another one. Let's see if he can get another good fight started. Even if Ocean are in position to get control around the Dragon, that's all 5 members up here.
Oh, and it's going to be Silly Shots that Chad jumps on top of. Even though it's a 2-level lead, they've got the TP coming in from PCL with the hook shot. The Lantern is not taken. Instead, he goes golden to survive. Flashes away. It's going to be the shot, but unfortunately, even with the polymorph, it's the Sonic Wave. He's got heals for days, and finally, he's shut down by Kyle.
What a sick control ward from Chad to just block out the Thresh Lantern. Because, yeah, you would expect it. They expected it, blocked it out, and now got a second kill on the board. Silly Shot down, and that Dragon has to be theirs now.
Not just did they get the kill on the Silly Shots, but that is shutdown gold that they have picked up. That was a lot. What was it? A 650 shutdown gold that they got off that?
It was pretty big. And so now you take a step back, and that was the play that Infernal were looking for. I said it was going to be Breezy, but it was Good Boy that got too close to the bush.
He played with fire.
Exactly. He needed to wait a little bit longer for more members. Sure, it was getting closer and closer to the Dragon being up, but got to wait for your members there. And so he got picked up, and the rest of Ocean ended up losing the fight off that.
I'd even like to see the gold and see how much Kyle is now at, because he was the one who gifted that shutdown gold from the kill.
Yeah.
That is going to get this Vayne back in a position to actually be threatening in these fights.
Yeah, and so this is going to mean a lot for the team, because even if Cloud Soul may not be like a game ender, it's delaying what Team Ocean's like overall win condition is going to be. It means that now that you have more time to get gold into your members, like you said with Team Infernal, now as you're just pointing out there, Kyle being able to pick up that Rage Blade, he's suddenly back into the game.
Yep, that's the big spike that I was looking for Kyle. I saw that, I'm like, oh. Now they've actually got this Vayne who's going to be threatening with Flash, with Exhaust, and with Winter right behind him for the Wild Growth too. No longer is the option there to really fully engage everything onto Kyle.
They're trying quite a bit to try and pick up this mid lane turret, even using PCL's timer. They've been doing this all game, overloading, try and get an advantage off of Camille. There we go. Able to pick up that mid lane turret and now get deeper vision on the side of Camille's map, I would say. It depends where they want to actually play. They can play towards Kyle or PCL. But now with that mid lane turret being picked up, a little easier to get the job done.
As Everyone's now resetting Ocean. They've already gone for their backs. They've bought the control wards in their inventory and are pushing out, looking for a couple of picks along the way. But unfortunately, Team Infernal are also trying to see if they can fully reset the map, having gotten that tier 1 mid lane, opening up a little bit more of the jungle of silly shots.
Yeah, I don't think Infernal has too much to worry about with how much pressure Team Ocean have on the Baron. Their Baron damage is not too much, and also they don't want to be the one starting it. Quite a lot of damage here now. Concept's going for this one.
Well, this is the problem when you have Jax as he continues to scale into the game. Even Camille, who's strong, it struggles into Jax with the ultimatum now thrown down and dodging away with the hook shot. But Jax can continue to follow this up. He's looking for the leap strike, and he got the shutdown solo kill over PCL.
That is huge from Concept. Being able to lock down PCL is coming back to lane. Now you have a numbers advantage. TP is going to be coming up in about 20 seconds. That was a big pickup there.
And even if Ocean's Baron take isn't that great, it's still a threat that you have to respect as Infernal. You got a long time until PCL's back up, and he has no TP to join in.
Yeah, 25 seconds, and someone's going to have to respond to that bottom lane wave being pushed in. So let's see, second item being picked up from Concept on that one. So that was the Blade of the Rune King. I mean, overall, the matchup's going in favor of him. So
yep,
great job from Concept. He's been getting pressured all game long. I think he did a great job playing around the 3-men, 4-men that were always basically trying to bully him. So he's up in CS, he got the 1v1, the advantage that Team Infernal had for the majority of the game's gone.
Well, it's like Kassadin, it's like Kale, you know, those champions that all you have to do is get to level 16 and then it's GG. You're just waiting to unlock your actual full abilities, your full power spike. And Concept here, he's level 14. He's 1-5, which doesn't look great, but the fact that he's now gotten himself 2 items, working towards getting that 3rd item, and can beat PCL in a solo fight is huge.
That just means, too, that they could be pretty confident about their Concept playing on side lane.
Yep.
And, you know, just Infernal being the one on a timer. See if he goes for this one now. He's kind of hunting for a play. Has APA behind him.
APA. This actually looks a little dicey for Ocean. 3 members here looking for the ultimatum onto APA, but he's thrown out by the Roar, and here is going to be the TP in behind. Concept fighting with PCL, but now everyone else is turning their attention back onto Concept. Jumps over the wall to survive. The TP was completed by Strumpus, but only Chad is now fighting against Concept. You do not want to take that fight.
Yeah, take a look at the Baron, as based off that play, Team Ocean is just going straight for it. TP coming in. Infernal know about this.
At least they get the TP. I think that was the bait from Ocean. They realized the play wasn't going well. They just wanted to bait out some of the sums away from Team Infernal so they themselves could then reset.
Yeah, now that's a lot of damage being put onto Breezy. We do have to see resets from Team Ocean. He's going straight for this kill, though.
Uh-oh, Chad. That was a lot of damage from both Silly Shots and Good Boy.
Now that's Team Infernal going for Baron. I mean, they called the play immediately afterwards, and that they knew that resets have to be pushed from Team Ocean's side. Let's see if we can steal this.
Down to 25. Chad's pretty low. They're looking for the snipes coming in from Silly Shots, but Breezy is too low. It's down low. The flash in, the kick away to make sure. No, wait, APA got it. He stole it away. The kill is still there onto Chad, but Team Ocean got the Baron.
No shot. APA comes in with the heroic ultimate to be able to steal it. When you're right, Chad,
that wasn't an
silly shots
that
away.
Was the Q. That was QW.
Damn.
That's all it took to steal it.
And that was huge. Also being able to get the kill on Chad, so they have a lot of time to work with the Baron here.
That is insane and unfortunate for Team Infernal. It looked like they had the Baron in the bag. They got the kick onto Silly Shots, but APA is a legend for the team, and Concept looked for a solo fight on PCL once more. This should go his way. One more jump, one more empowered strike, and he takes him down.
Man, just like that. Feels like it was looking real good for Infernal. Being able to catch Team Ocean going on the Baron. Kyle, of course, putting in a lot of damage onto that objective. The denial from Chad, kicking Silly Shot away, wasn't good enough. And so now it is just troubling. They were chipping at the gold advantage. It was looking at 1.5k. Now it's ballooning.
Look at how far APA was at the beginning of that, too. It takes that long, and APA is able to move that fast.
Take a look at this, because, yeah. Wow.
It wasn't even the Q. It was just the W.
Yeah, I mean, absurd. He was focusing so much on Silly Shot, you know, trying to come in for the smite. Didn't catch APA coming in around the corner, so.
Who would expect that, though? Who would expect the Dragon to fly out of nowhere and Star steals away Baron?
Yeah, now they got to be creative. if Team Infernal want to be able to push Team Ocean away from sieges or anything like that, I'm looking towards Chad. He has another Warthog kick available, or even Strumpus, who's able to pick up Rabidons. He actually is quite fed so far in this game. So if they can get a good pick, then sure, makes the job easier. Kyle's going to be the target.
Kyle he's 3 levels down to APA, but he's got a good trade of damage. Triumph Roar comes out, but Kyle is winning that fight. With everyone now here from Team Ocean, Kyle does have to back out of there. Got to be careful, but it's going to be the snipe. Oh, that is even more damage coming in from Strumpus on the other side.
Yeah, that's absurd. Now we have the damage check on what Lux is able to do on just Good Boy alone. Thankfully, the heals coming in. 2 heals from Nidalee, who's able to heal Good Boy up to full. See what happens here on this siege onto the bot lane turret.
It's looking dicey for Team Infernal. Pretty good wave clear from Team Ocean as they push them back into this inhibitor turret, trying to see if they can take it. Strumpus is on the other side and look for his own steal, but APA is actually taking a cheater recall.
Yeah, in the end, let's see if they can do anything about the mid lane wave, because I think bot lane is just is done and dusted. Yeah. Someone was able to actually get the mid lane pushed straight into the second tier turret into Oceans, so they're not going to be able to do anything bot lane, but wow, that was close.
Nice dodge away from Concept, but he was taking up the turret for a bit too long in that entire fight. And Strumpus on the other side, the leap strike away with a movement speed from Winter, the flash, and light-binding shutdown.
There we go, we're able to get the kill. That's a 54-second death timer on a Concept.
But 3 members committed for that, so they could easily crack the bot lane.
All right, but Team Infernal is trying to do anything to get creative, right? Trying to keep the game from falling apart. 2 minutes until the next Cloud Soul is going to be available for Ocean, but right now they're just picking up what they can. Full camps cleared out, the red side jungle, 2 turrets picked up. The only positive you can say for Team Infernal is that they're able to defend the inhibitor.
Yeah, they're making sure that they're not going to have to worry about the super minions pouring into the base just yet. But I imagine that Concept, with that TP up, can easily start threatening this top lane consistently, maybe even be sent into the bot lane to crack that inhibitor.
Man, can I say now that we have at least some time to take a breath, great game from Silly Tots.
Oh, really is.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy coming out from the ladder and coming in to Proving Grounds with a unique champion pool, to say the least. But man, does he impress on those champions.
Yeah, he's performing, he's executing individually, and on top of it, the team is really, like, the comp is built around him, but the team is playing really well around it.
Yeah.
So this is, of course, Concept trying to get the kill on towards PCL or trying to get anything. They found a good timer here, Team Infernal, to come topside and help PCL out. I think the biggest positive there is that they knew that the base came through from APA, so it was going to take quite a long time for them to get bot lane turret, so they had the timer.
And they knew that even if they sacrifice the turret, they're not sacrificing the inhibitor off the play. So they get the pick, they get a shutdown 2 for Strumpus, who's 4-0. Look at how many items. He's got the Rabidons, he's got his Ludens, he's got the Rise Focus as well, and they even can start this fight, but Good Boy took the Lantern and took PCL a long way away from his team. Concept is waiting to hold on to that TP and looking for the flank angle. It's going to be the flash in, but nobody is connected. The Chad takes a lot of damage, and look at Good Boy. Once again, he has gone into stasis, and he's barely surviving. The roar onto 3 members is not good enough. Good Boy taking a lot of damage. The final spark will take him out as well. The TP will finally come through from PCL on the other side to save Chad's life from Concept, who was looking for him, but he's going to jump on him instead. Hook shot away, not going to be connected by the counter-strike. The 4v4 still, a 4v5. Here's Chad on the other side, still with the team, not wanting to back just yet.
Yeah, and there are no camps for Chad to heal on, so he actually just has to base or find a quick way to heal up here. There we go, he's thinking about it, but that just means that he's not going to be there for Cloud Soul that's going to be coming up, so the call might just be to back away. No, he's going to take the risk.
Oh, he is hanging on a prayer right there with how low his health bar is.
And remember, there's no ulti there from Lulu. He used it in the previous fight, so we're going to get anything done here, thankfully. Okay, thank God for the...
I was wondering too, I'm like, Chad, please, you can easily get blown up there.
Look at the response here from Team Ocean. They're already going towards the next Baron on the map.
But think about how long it took them last time to actually get that. They weren't even the ones on it. It was all on Infernal taking it. Look at this. It's taken forever to get it to 50%.
Yeah, Good Boy's not there. But that's a lot that you have to push through a Fog of War from Team Infernal. So they're naturally going to take a lot slower to get there. So there we go. That's a great response there from Team Ocean. Didn't want to play it risky, taking a bad fight versus Infernal. Go for another Baron. And now, remember, that's just third Dragon for Infernal.
True.
It was Ocean that was playing for Soul. So they're the ones taking the smarter play, taking Baron and going for now Game Ender.
And you got Concept level 18, continuing to split push, and no one can really match him. You're going to have to send so many members to be able to compete against this Jack that it allows Ocean a lot of time and energy that they can spend elsewhere.
Yeah, a positive thing I would say for Team Infernal in the last fight, they did a really good job at, once again, stopping the Breezy's W, this is Lantern, from being able to save Good Boy. So they not only got his GA, but of course he still couldn't pick it up with the control ward right on top of the Lantern, and so they got him on the comeback. So his GA is going to be out for the next fight, so he could be a target.
Should be a target, in fact. I'm waiting to see how they're going to focus this fight, as Good Boy and Co are here top lane to crack out that tier 2 in the top lane, easily taking that too. You don't really want to contest that as Team Infernal.
All right, let's see what the play is here. APA is going to be moving towards mid lane, seeing if they could catch out PCL who wants to defend that. And then I think they're going to try and crash on this cannon wave up top side.
But does Team Infernal actually want to let this happen? There's a lot that they can try to go for. They're looking for the fight. They're looking for Good Boy. Ultimatum again with the final spark sniping him out, dominating APA. He's by himself in the middle of 5. No flash available, so they can easily pick up the kill. But Chad, the entire time, he's got silly shots and Breezy in his pockets. Concept was trying to end the game, but unfortunately just couldn't do it, so they have to trade the support. 3 members are gone for Team Ocean.
It was Infernal recognizing this was the wave they want to play on, but we still don't see APA, so PCL just straight goes for it. Ultimate on the primary target, Good Boy, with no GA. I'm pretty sure he did have flash, but how are you going to get out of that combo, right? So, like, he ends up dying for it. Now, this is a pretty large window. 30-second death timer on APA for them to see if they can get an inhibitor here.
Concept is still pushing in the bot lane. He's actually fighting against PCL. He wants to see if he can get the solo kill onto him, all the while Infernal are looking to crack mid.
See what the play is here. He's just buying for time for Strumpus to come in for the save.
I don't think Strumpus is going to be able to do so, though. Concept should be able to take him out, and in fact, he does. While mid lane, it's only silly shots to defend the base, and he'll valiantly put his life on the line to make sure that does not fall.
All right, let's see if Kyle, Chad, and Winter can get away here, because I was wondering if Concept was going to try for a flank, but just trying to go for the more consistent play. Know that Team Ocean's already coming back from base stage, bot side, and now they have 2 inhibitors that they can play for.
Concept in the bot lane, the rest of the 4 in mid lane. The 4-1 already set up for Team Ocean, with PCL still 27 seconds left until he's going to respawn and be able to flank himself. But unfortunately for Team Infernal, they have to just give up the inhibitors. They can't really fight this just yet. They have to make sure they clear out the minion wave first.
Yeah, they have 2 waves of minions that they can play off of. 15-second death timer on PCL. They're going to choose to not take the risk, back away. Dragon's going to be coming up in a minute 30 seconds, so maybe they play for that one, play for Soul. But they've been playing a really patient game here, not wanting to just lose it all. Because just off of that one lost play on top lane, yeah, they've already lost second tier turret mid. A lot of the gold advantage that they were having is starting to be siphoned away. So great defensive play from Team Infernal to keep this game one alive.
Well, and that's the big thing, is that before you think about how many fights that Ocean could sacrifice, they could easily lose that play top lane. It didn't really matter that much. They only lose a little bit mid lane. But here, they're now put in the position. Infernal's dragged out this game long enough that this next fight between either team, if it's definitive for either of them, is the game set and ended.
There you go. So not only does Ocean have control around the dragon right now, being the one that has first touch, but Concept is just chilling in topside. So he's going to be the ticking time bomb that Infernal has to be aware of. They saw, I think, just 3 members on mid lane. They also saw APA. So they're pretty aware that, as you can see from PCL, kind of moving towards topside initially, that Concept should be their top lane. Also does have TP,
Guardian's Angel stopwatch as well. He pretty much can get all the attention from Team Infernal while his team takes the soul and even the game.
Yeah. Also, just another point to talk about. Good Boy did end up getting his frozen
Heart.
Yeah, frozen heart. So he does have some armor to help him out a little bit when PCL does go in for a dive. So that's going to be nice. That NGA, as you mentioned. So much more helpful here. Silly Shot is going to be able to pick up Soul now for his team.
Pretty much uncontested from Team Infernal, unless a heroic snipe is there from Strumpus, but he's been using that final spark to clear out the minion waves instead, not wanting any wave to crash into the base and giving Team Ocean the angle to win.
All right, Mad.
What's up?
How risky do you want to play it? we have Soul.
If it's me, personally, you risk it all.
Oh my God.
Nothing like Flash is an offensive summoner spell. You go for the greedy plays. You go for the 50-50s. If it's my call.
Well, Ocean is the opposite of that. They know that Baron's coming up, and they're going to play for that one, too. Concept should be pretty confident in this 1v1.
Yeah, I don't think you want that fight, even though Kyle's there. Concept can just jump away like he did, with 4 members focusing onto this bot lane. That's going to be the inside track on top side for an Ocean.
Yeah, he knows he's the play, so he's just going to back away. Doesn't see members on the mid lane wave, so with 4 people from Infernal moving towards him, that's full vision control in favor of Ocean around top side. Once Baron's going to be up, they're going to start it instantly.
Well, APA crashing another wave into this inhibitor, the final one that remained for Team Infernal, and allowing even more of a leniency so they can immediately turn for the Baron.
There we go. And now let's see if they can get the kill onto Concept this time around. No flash.
And he doesn't have very much health either. It's going to be a hook shot in, but it's going to be the counter-strike available with Wild Growth on top of PCL. But look at Concept. 1v5, baby! But the Polymorph will help make sure the GA is popped while top lane Ocean crash a minion wave in. Concept dives back in, but the kick, the kill, the shutdown is there for Kyle. While the game might just be over for Team Infernal if they're not quick enough getting back to the base.
Ezreal ultimate to see if they can cancel out some bases. They cancel out 2 of them.
Oh, but it's going to be Strumpus clearing out some of the minion waves. Good boys onto these Nexus turrets. Chipping away, but slowly. They're not able to take it just yet. We're 41 minutes into the game. The TP behind them comes in. PCL's looking for the fight, but the flash away from Kyle. That's a lot of shields on top of him. But PCL jumps on a good boy. He's got no mana, but it's PCL instead who's eviscerated by silly shots. With 4 members still alive for each team. The dive continues. Infernal try valiantly to get one more GA pop, but APA's in the middle of all. He's got all the attention in the world. The kick away. Kyle's on top of him. Killing spree 2. Silly shots goes golden, but Kyle is still there, getting himself a shutdown. It's going to be Strumpus taking him out. Breezy, good boy, the bot lane. They got so much attention early, but now they're the only surviving members.
What a game opening on finals day. Instantly starting out where Team Ocean just can't crack them.
Jeez,
That's
man.
3 inhibitors down. They go for the game-ending fight, but good boy, his GA being popped. Same for Concept. We're not there to be able to back silly shots up as he was diving through. And so now another sigh of relief from Infernal as they can have another shot at this game.
Raz, the only reason that Infernal gets the shot too is because they were able to kill Concept. They got the GA popped. They killed him. Even with the canceled backs, it wasn't enough for Team Infernal to actually push back and win the fight afterwards. But at least for Team Ocean, they've got the reprieve. They've got time to wait.
2 inhibitors just respawning there from Infernal, so they only really have to concern themselves with the top lane wave. Makes it a lot easier to play around. Say if a Baron was to come up next time around, so they're going to be on the top side of the map. Helps out, so they can still contest top side vision. All right. Seems like if this game is going to be saved by Team Infernal, it's Pie Lord and Strumpus that'll do it.
I'm just wondering how they do it, though. That's going to be the big thing, especially once Concept joins with the team.
Yeah, and I mean, a Lulu ultied Kyle. Oh, here's another play.
Oh, APA's not here. That's a 4v5 fight they're looking for right now. They've got Concept to use a counter-strike, but they're focused onto him. They got the attention away. Concept and PCL continue to duel on the side, but they cannot continue because APA could just crack open another inhibitor in the bot lane.
Yeah, great block out of that engage, so Pie wasn't able to get anything done off that one. Chad is fairly low. Could be a best idea to base, but basing at this timer is going to be pretty risky. He's looking for another play.
Chad, he's looking for the kick. It's good boy that he's focused on, too. They've got the kill at his own life expended, with Concept flashing to make sure he's not going to be sent into the wall. The APA, he's got a lot of damage on the other side, but he's had to use the Proto Belt away to survive. 1-for-1 trade again, but it's going to be Ocean who look to continue that pressure into the base of Infernal.
What a heroic kick there from Chad. Took his life to be able to take the AD carry. So good boy's out for 40 seconds, but that's not going to stop Team Ocean.
Oh, but PCL getting pulled back in and killed by APA is going to be huge for Ocean. Kyle trying to be a maniac in the back line, but he just doesn't have the damage just yet. There's going to be the pop in. He's used the final hour. Is it their own final hour? The sniping on the Concept. Now Kyle continues to chase. Looks for Breezy. Silly shots damage does nothing to deter Kyle. He's got what he needs. The stun's in from APA. The pull back in gets the GEA pop, and Kyle Kyle. Even though he will survive with a spear to the face, it is still going to be threatened there from Ocean.
Now, Ocean doesn't want to double down on the G8 target with Winter having ultimate available. So taking what they got, backing away, with now Elder coming up in 50 seconds. That should be Ocean now that is going to be in position. Lower death timer on PCL. He has TP. He can join earlier. Let's see if they can block this.
Whereas you've already said it once, but what a game to open up scouting
wild.
grounds for everyone to see. 45 minutes in, and it still is nowhere closer to end.
Usually, first games in a best of 3 is the slower paced one.
Yep.
Silly thought seeing you can get the kill on a Winter. Really close. He actually has to base now.
Yeah, 20 seconds until that Elder's going to be up. Winter has to base so he can book it immediately to contest.
But the proactivity is something you love to see, especially with Team Ocean recognizing that the team they have a harder time playing team fight with the comp that they have through the Aurelion Soul. But they know that they have the advantage on side lane, and they've been trying to use it a lot and playing through the vision that they have. So now here's that next test. You have a lot of vision. You can get a hook off here.
PCL has some TP to join in, but it's going to be Chad who's focused, jumping back with the Wild Growth. The double snipe in from Strumpus. What the hell is that damage? As Good Boy jumps over the wall to survive. The flash gen. Kyle's final hour popped once more, but Concept scares him away. Jumps on top of Winter to take out that kill for Good Boy. With a kick in with the Lantern 2. Concept's burning to ignite, but barely is alive as Good Boy's in the pit with PCL, and he sliced down legendary Strumpus.
12 kills on Strumpus. Vayne flashes over the wall to get the kill, and now this is going to be Elder for Chad unless anything wild happens.
I hope not, man. I didn't think that this first game would be this wild, this chaotic. Even the canceled backs there from Team Infernal will make sure the TP that Concept's now using mid lane couldn't be there to contest at this Elder.
Yeah, I mean, they should be there to defend it, but what a huge turnaround from Infernal, blocking so many plays. They're going to try and end the game themselves.
Base race? It's a contested base race right now. Concept is in the base. It's just Strumpus who's there. They're trying to do their best to keep these minions alive as Concept is now fighting. The Nexus turrets are taken by Kyle, by PCL. They're on top of the Nexus, but it's going to be a kill on the Concept. And Infernal, they battle their way back in 47 minutes in to take game 1.
Great defense from them to just back away, get the kill on Concept, and now save the game that they've been defending for how long?
47 minutes.
There it is.
In 47 minutes, they were that because from the beginning they had this bot lane that wasn't going their way.
Yeah.
Kyle and Winter were struggling into Good Boy and Breezy. They sure got some leads onto Concept into the top lane, but eventually the Jax just became Jax and was an unkillable monster in the side lane.
And I think a lot of it comes to the utility. The players with the utility that started the fight when they knew they had the timer. PCL did a lot of great, good work there. And just starting the fight for his team. Chad Jungle is another example of it. Chad, who, namesake-wise, was willing to sacrifice himself to get the kill on a Good Boy, and he's been the primary target. He died multiple times in fights, and it really delayed what Team Ocean was trying to do.
But you know what? Those Chad plays for Chad, letting that Team Infernal the game 1 victory over Team Ocean. We're going to step away for a moment, toss it to Upbreak. When we come back, the analyst desk will break down that win.
Hello, and welcome back to the 2021 Honda Scouting Grounds. What a scrappy game to get us started. We started champs like with some, let's say, unique picks. Yeah. Golden Glue, you mentioned earlier that players have incentives to style on people because they want to get scouted. Is that what happened here?
Yeah, so strictly what I was saying is that the players would probably play more for lane phase, and then as you could see with the red side team comp, they definitely went for something that was didn't have much team synergy. You know, you don't usually see Ezreal and Thresh pair together. Asol Nidalee, I wouldn't say is my favorite combination either for mid-jungle 2v2s. But, you know, APA is a renowned Aurelion Soul player. This guy has clapped me many times with his Asol and solo queue. So I definitely respect the Asol. And what a game that was. You definitely saw that they were able to get a lead in lane phase. And a lot of stuff happened in that game, 47-minute long game, but to be brief, they weren't able to transition their lane phase lead to the win.
Yeah, and let's talk a little bit about how that lane phase lead even started, Emily, because it looked like a lot of action bot lane.
Yeah, so I want to talk about Breezy because Breezy had a game. So even in this loss, I thought he played really, really well. He changed the dynamic of this lane completely with a lot of these hooks that he landed. This actually allowed him to get first roam mid and allowed Ocean to respond to dive on top side as well. So this is really important in establishing the way this lane ended up going, especially since because Infernal were trying to focus so much topside and getting PCL ahead, it means that they already weren't down their bot lane, and then, Ocean just completely took over thanks to Breezy's Thresh.
Yeah, in my head, this game would have been a lot more difficult for Team Ocean. It was a really close game, and they almost won. I feel like if it wasn't for Breezy and the bot lanes dominating lane phase, the game probably would have been much more Infernal one-sided, because I think the comp was a lot easier to play.
Yeah, and if we look into the mid game, it ended up with Ocean stealing a Baron that I'm not even sure who it belonged to in the first place, and they still stole it.
You never see the Aurelion Soul speeding in
Look
from
at him.
base. Let's go!
Because we're like, wow, 50-50 Baron, look at this. And then we're like, oh my God, Chad denied the 50-50. What a play. Oh no! To be fair, that went straight from 983 to 0.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting. I think the Lux Laser maybe could have been used earlier, because it looked like the Lux Laser plus a Soul Q is how he got it.
Yeah.
If they just did a bit more damage, got into smite range, because it actually went from 983 to 0. That's depression.
It is.
Depression.
Yeah, and speaking of Lux Laser, it felt like Lux was a huge part of keeping Infernal in the game the whole time.
Absolutely.
Strumpus was just multiple picks time and time again with his lasers, with his bindings. So talk to me through the comeback. How did we get from a point where they're getting styled on bot lane to they're coming back at the end?
I mean, I think Strumpus was a massive part of why this happened. Lux isn't... Like, we were talking about this. She might not be the champion that you want to showcase for absolute skill expression, but what is required of good Lux play is that you hit everything. And this team, once they hit a binding, once they get CC, they can chain CC, and it gives a ton of space for Vayne to move. They also, I will say, Ocean didn't have many answers for the Vayne itself. But I mean, Strumpus is someone who, talking to coaches who have been doing some scouting, they're like, he's actually improved a lot from, again, our expectations of what kind of a player we thought he was. So it was great to see him pop off in this game.
Look at that damage.
That gold graph.
51K. Yeah, so I think something to look for in Lux players is their ability to be patient. The thing is, with Lux, she has really, her biggest strength is her long range and the capability to one-shot people from very far away. But it's really easy to misposition once or get impatient, and once you get behind on that champion and you don't have enough damage to one-shot, you're utterly useless. So he did a really good job being patient, keeping his strengths, and just waiting for the right time. And you saw it at 46 minutes and a half, that one laser won in the game.
Yeah.
It was a nice kick as well. It was a nice.
Yeah. I'll say, even though I thought Silly actually had a really good early game, Chad's team fighting in this was, he was landing some really, really crucial kicks to set up for a lot of those lasers that were going across the
Chad
sides.
had quite good team play. I also think something to note was Concept had a lot of pressure. The Jacks had a lot of pressure in the game, even though the guy was 1-5 at some point. He was definitely dying to the camps, but one thing that's really nice is when you can force the team to come to you with 2 to 3, bring numbers on your side, then your team can get other things on the other side of the map. Definitely, I think that it was something to note, even though he kind of did die all the time.
Sure. So Ocean does choose blue side for game 2. Emily, I want to know, what changes do they make so that after stomping bot lane and getting Baron, they actually can win the game?
I mean, I still think you want to go for, again, stuff that they're comfortable with, right? So obviously we already pointed out Breezy's Thresh, I think, was really good. Grayson just pointed out how much pressure Concept was able to draw, despite the fact that they focused him hard on top side. He was still able to help set up for the plays, and that Jax was actually still monstrous.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see them stick to comfort picks. I think the Aurelion Shoal, despite the fact that it's one of APA's his signature champion, maybe put him on something different that goes with the team comp a little bit better, but we'll see. I fully expect them to stick with comfort picks, though.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's see if they stick with that. For the meantime, we're going to be stepping away, but when we return, we've got game 2, so don't go anywhere.